Come on, mom, 22 grand. I stay drippy on fam. You losing my mind. You come in my mind. You don't like what you'll find. Getting real. I used to spark your seal. That's how I know you feel. I flood your wrist. That's Richard Mill. Ducking the ops. That's Navy SEALs. And we're back with another episode of Behind the Artist. Today we have the lovely Olivia Rogers. Everyone, give a round of applause.
Hey.
So yeah, I think my friend Neil is the first person who told me about you. If you haven't listened to her music, it's pretty freaking awesome. She has a lot of different pop influences, a lot of different R&B influences. So we'll definitely get into that today. But as always, I always start my guest off. Take us through your musical journey. We have the whole time. You can take as long as you want. Take us from start to finish where you are now.
Okay, so I think basically my entire life I've always liked to sing. I don't really come from a particularly musical family. I in my head I like to think that I have an older sister who I shared a room with growing up, and when you have an older sibling, sometimes you want to be exactly like them and you do everything that they
Mm-hmm.
do. So she liked to sing, so I was like, oh well, now I gotta sing.
Right.
Um, so that started out pretty young, but I was never serious about it. I didn't sing for anyone in my family because I was really shy about it, and it probably wasn't until middle school that I started opening up, or my family started realizing like, oh, like she might actually be able to sing and she likes it. We had a middle school talent show,
Right.
and I think I did it both my seventh and eighth grade year. My
What
the
what were you, what
first
were you singing in middle school?
the first one that I did, it was what, like 2013 or something, when
Mm.
Pitch Perfect came out. So
Mm.
I
The cup
sat,
song?
I cross-legged on
Yep, you
stage
sure
and did the
did.
cup song.
You sure did.
Yes. And
You
I didn't
sure did.
mess up.
That's
So
amazing. That's amazing. Do you have
and
video of that? That's a good one to keep for later.
I don't personally have it. I mean, maybe the
Oh,
school
that's a good
does.
one. That's a good one. So you did the cut.
And then I did the cup song, yeah. And the next year I did like a Sweater Weather cover, also
Oh,
a big song at that time.
yeah. Still
Um,
a good song.
oh yeah, I love that. I
Definitely
love the
stood the test of
neighborhood.
time for sure.
um, and then I started thinking, oh, guitar is a good thing to play when you sing.
Right.
So I started thinking about getting involved with guitar, and then this will probably come up a bunch during this, but Taylor Swift is like my biggest influence. So I
Yeah.
was obviously inspired by her,
I can
learning
definitely hear it.
guitar and writing music like that. So I learned guitar in my freshman year of high school. I just took like the guitar one class, and
Hmm.
so it was mainly classically focused, except my teacher, Jacob Walker, he did teach us some just about, he taught us like a couple pop songs and like chords and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, and then I could just go from there, learning whatever I wanted, because every song has chords out on the internet. So
Exactly.
if you're looking for it, you can find it.
Yep.
And then I think when I was I was probably 15 when I wrote my first serious song,
Really?
and
Okay.
um, I had started taking vocal lessons at that time, and so I kind of worked with that teacher a little bit on like just getting her input on how, like, what she thought of the song, and she kind of helped me, push me in the right direction to finish it. And I'm
Right.
really proud of that song till this day. It's a pretty
Yeah.
mature
What? What?
song for a
What?
15-year-old.
I was to say, as a 15-year-old, what were you writing about?
It was about um, people getting like the people around me getting into things like partying and stuff like that at such a young age, and not really
Yeah.
focusing on anything else, and being someone who wasn't really into that yet, and
Yeah.
um,
That's dope for a
yeah, and being
15-year-old to
like
think like
seen,
that.
huh?
I said for a 15-year-old to think like that, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
Thank you. Um, so I learned guitar. I also, when did I learned piano. I taught myself piano some year in high school, maybe my
Yeah,
sophomore or junior
that's
year.
probably a good transition from guitar to piano
Yeah.
to learn from.
And I actually my senior year of high school I did take like a piano one class,
Right.
but it wasn't anything serious and it
Yeah.
probably didn't help that much with my particular music learning, but and so I had a little bit of piano under my belt. I had a little guitar and I was just continuing to songwrite and um my high school had this thing called Heritage Night every year, and
Mhm.
they I didn't, bring a particularly unique heritage to the stage, but they
Yeah.
knew me and they let me sing whatever I wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just like this white girl
Yeah,
playing guitar on the
just
stage. Like
trying it out. Yeah.
it was a really dope show though. Like it was
Really
so lit, and it's all, probably to this day still the most people I've ever played in front of. It was at least like 300 or 400 people.
nice.
Um, so I did that 3 years. So that was really fun, and I, learned that I don't have a ton of stage fright, which is really good for what I want
That
to
is
go
very
into.
good. That's good to learn early. That's good to learn
Yeah,
early.
and I tried to do open mics when I could, just around the community and restaurants and
Mhm.
stuff that held
And
them.
this was in your high school career, right?
Yes.
How did that go around? How did that go around? Just going around in high school doing gigs.
I don't even know if I would consider it a gig. Like there was no getting paid for that. It was like it was usually just old people. So old
Right.
people would sing old people songs and then there was me, like a 16-year-old playing
Bumping her
my
Taylor
music and
Swift.
I'd usually have a little family entourage who came with me,
Awesome. Yeah,
which
that's
is
great.
really great because my family supports me so much and
Yeah,
um
that's awesome.
but yeah, it was fun. I just wanted to, get my name, my voice out there and get exposure and just have fun with it.
Right. And
Get good
that's
practice.
the premise, having fun with it,
Yeah.
especially that early.
I took more voice lessons with a different teacher at one point, which was a lot of fun. And I'm currently on my third voice teacher at this point, and I think it's really good to work on like your craft, and it's
I agree.
helped
I
me a
agree.
lot with my voice specifically.
Yeah.
Um, I I released I would release a couple things on SoundCloud every now and then or
Oh, really?
a YouTube cover
Nice.
and I I think it was in 2018, so I was in college at this point. I decided to release like kind of a self-produced pretty simple EP on SoundCloud and it's still there. And it has 4 or 5 songs. I think it has 4 songs on it. Um, songs
What
that are
was
also really
what was that process like? Just recording your first joint, I guess. Like your first like EP. Just take me through that. Take me through what that was like. Who did
um
you contact? Like how was that? How was that process?
so strangely it's like not that different from what I'm doing now. It's a lot of just my bedroom and figuring it out. I knew since I wanted to do it myself that it couldn't be really produced. It was just going to be mainly guitar, piano, and vocals because I don't have like a natural knack for production. I've taken a couple
Right.
classes. I've like done a camp or so, and it's something I would love to be good at, but I don't have the ear for it. Um, but I basically just I would contact my guitar teacher like who
Mhm.
I mentioned earlier because I had him for a few other classes and I was like what is some good sound equipment I can get. He pointed me towards a microphone and
Right.
a interface
Scarlet.
stuff like that. And I think I just did it on GarageBand at that time, and
Nice.
I just did it all myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going through that right now. Like I'm still making music just off GarageBand. I don't even have Logic Pro or anything like that, but just
Yeah.
getting creativity out there is definitely a good process. So you were mostly a bedroom recorder, which
Yes.
is yeah, that's I mean that's mostly I mean No Clue pretty much did that for the whole album that we had put out. We just basically did bedroom recording and just trying to get it right, and
Oh,
it's actually pretty cool to see it go from there to on a streaming service like
oh,
SoundCloud or Apple
totally.
Music or something like that.
And I'm for a lot of small artists, it's kind of necessary to do just that bedroom recording because it's expensive
It's
to
so expensive.
get a studio. I mean, of course, the equipment and the DAWs and whatever can be the software can be really expensive, but not as expensive as studio time.
Nope, not
So,
even a little bit. Because
um,
once you make that initial payment, I mean you're set to do it in your bedroom for years to come.
yeah. And you can use it for other stuff like
Like
podcasts.
podcasting. Exactly.
um, so once I got to college, I go to Virginia Tech, and I was
Right.
originally going to pursue a music technology degree. Um, and in order to do that, you have to have an instrument. So I figured I wasn't going to be able to learn like classical piano or anything in the summer before I had to
Yeah.
audition. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
let me do some classical singing. So I got yet another vocal coach, this time specifically for um,
And this is vocal coach number
classical.
3, right?
Yes, that was my third.
3. Got it.
Um, and she was great, and I just worked with her for like 2 months over the summer to
Hmm.
prepare 3 songs for my audition. And by the grace of God, the uh, like professors who were running auditions that day, they forgot the sight singing material for my audition, and I suck at sight singing. And I didn't
That's
have to do it. They were just like, "You
well,
don't have
hey,
to do that part."
that's awesome.
And I
Oh,
mean,
there we go. You're back.
I probably would have gotten in anyway. It's not like it's not a super prestigious music program, but I was
Right.
lucky, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. And it was
Of course. Of
through
course.
it was through the vocal program at Tech, so the like vocal studio where I met Win Yang, who was in the band Speakeasy, and then I joined.
Mm.
He heard me sing classically in vocal studio, and he was like, "So I've got this jazz punk rap fusion band that we might want
I've
you to
got
sing
this
in."
jazz punk rock fusion band.
We call it Neapolitan fusion because we don't. It's just a whole bunch of
I
flavors.
mean, it sounds amazing, honestly.
Um, and I was like super nervous, but it sounded super cool. And I went to meet the guys, and they're just so fantastic, and they were so welcoming to me.
That's awesome.
Um, I kind of felt like the little like baby in the group. I think I was the youngest, but I was also the only girl there,
So
and it was
you were holding down the feminine side. So
yeah.
hey, do what you do.
um, and yeah, it stuck, and I had so much fun, and we started getting gigs in Blacksburg. We got to play in, I think it was called Battle of the Bands that VTU ran, and
Oh,
we
that's
have
awesome. Are you still a part of that group? And the group is called Speakeasy. Is that what you said?
yeah,
Right.
Speakeasy, and we do well. Actually, I'll get to that in a second, but technically, like, we never broke up or anything, but half the band like graduated college
Ah,
and we're not in the
the
same
good
place
old
anymore.
graduation retirement.
Yes. So I think, we would all love to get together if we ever wanted to record some more stuff.
Mhm.
But it's looking kind of bleak for any more performances out of Speakeasy. Um, but we have 2 singles out on all streaming platforms,
Okay.
Mad Royalty and Solo. Um, And yeah, those were really fun to record. We got to use like the studio that they have at Virginia Tech.
Right.
Um, and it was a mix of that and Wynn's room, which, oh, so the place that we practiced and we recorded a lot was Wynn's room, which was the base. It was in the basement of a church, and
Oh.
yeah, so we were like a church basement band.
Well, that's actually pretty funny. Here at Bridgewater, the whole music, everything is at the bottom of a church, which is
Oh,
very odd, but I kind of dig it. It's kind of a cool vibe in there.
yeah, no, I always really liked it. Um, yeah, so that was I got to perform with Speakeasy for my first 2 years of college.
Right. And I bet that
Um,
bet that relieved any remaining stage fright that you kind of brushed aside before. That kind of probably took out all of that.
yeah, and it was really cool because it was such a different kind of music than
Right.
what I do, and I got to write in some really different ways than I would for my songs. I had a rap verse in one song.
Ooh.
It's like a singy rap, I'm not
Yeah.
they would try to get me to freestyle sometimes and I was like, please no.
Please don't do. Please
Yeah,
don't.
that's not happening. Um but it just really really creative people in that group, a bunch of different, we had a few music majors, we had like an engineer, I don't know, and then I was I'm now a philosophy major, so
Mhm.
it was a lot of different viewpoints coming
Right.
together.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun, and I definitely grew as like a performer and musician. And now I actually still work with Win because he has his own studio, uh, and he owns First Wave Recording Studios. That's what his
Right.
brand is
Right. That's
called.
dope.
So he did production and mixing and mastering for the first two songs that I put out. So,
And
or
that's
actually, I take that back. He mixed and mastered my first single,
that was
and it
lithium.
was
Is that lithium?
that was RBD.
Oh, RBD.
And
Right.
this is okay. So this is the start of the pandemic, and
Mhm.
I was thinking, you know what, I should start putting music out on all like actual streaming platforms that aren't just SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I have this friend, Danny May, who's amazing on guitar. And
Mhm.
for whatever reason, I was like, oh, let's write like a pop punk song. And so, like, the first song that I ever put out is so different than what
So it
my.
is, and but it's cool. It's cool in that way though, because it shows versatility right off the bat.
Yeah, it was really fun to do. And I'm glad that I made a decision to kind of branch out to a slightly different genre. But so
Right.
Danny did, I guess, a lot of what would be considered the production on that. Like, he played all the instruments and stuff, and then I recorded my own vocals, and we winded um, the mixing and mastering for that. And for my second single, Lithium, where I actually collaborated with another Speakeasy member, so Greenwoods, who features on that.
Okay, he's also
Um,
in Speakeasy.
yes, Terrell.
Gotcha.
Which was great. But I made a just a little guitar track and a little baby drum track, and then I sung over that and got Terrell to write like a bridge verse for it. He came in and recorded
Mhm.
again in my bedroom. And then Win did the mixing mastering on that. But for my third, Kill the Prom King, he also produced that and he
Right.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, completely.
I was
Um, so now I kind of want to get into I kind of want to get into the songs in general. I've listened to Lithium and I've listened to Killer Prom King a lot. I'm just really curious how you came up. First, how you came up in Lithium. I think there's an intro that you do. It's like, woke up some dun dun and that little intro. How did you come up with that? That's such a it's such an interesting sonically. It's very interesting. And I just figured I'd ask you if you had a special process writing that or a special production writing that.
That song, I think I wanted, I liked the idea of personifying an inanimate object as like a romantic partner or a lover or something.
Right.
And I, for a while, had, so when I used a medication,
Right.
and I had, so far and still do, had really good results with being on lithium. It
Hmm.
has done really great things for my mental health, and I was like, oh,
And we
you know,
and we stand mental health around here on this
yes, we
podcast.
do. Take care of yourself.
Please do.
um, um, so I basically just I treated it like this pill was like my boyfriend or whatever, or
Yeah. And your
and
kisses taste like lithium on my tongue every day in the sun. It's so catchy. It's definitely one of my favorites that I heard, especially during the pandemic, because when we were writing for No Clue, we were just trying to think of themes and stuff and like whatever. And then Neil showed me that, and I was like, "Huh, that's pretty interesting." And that's when I think we had came up with Dance with Me, like not even 3 hours after we had heard that, and it was pretty cool. It was really really cool actually. Got us out of this writing funk we were in.
oh, that makes me feel really good.
Well, yeah. Well, we all wanted to take a listen because I know after I had heard it, I showed Robin, my girlfriend, and then she was just like gushing about it. So I showed everybody else, and Neil co-signed and everything. So it was pretty cool.
Robin makes me
To
so happy when she posts on Instagram. I kind of consider her my first, because the first time she reached out to me, I didn't know who she was. I kind of consider
right.
her like my first fan, because
Yeah. I
all my
mean,
other fans
yeah,
are people who knew me before I started making music.
yeah,
And she's she just was so complimentary of my
yeah. You
music. She
could.
sent me a video of her singing along to it, and I was like, this makes my entire
Don't
life.
I said don't worry, don't worry. She plays it all the time. You also have a second fan in me, so you have two now.
Yay.
But yeah, and then and getting into Kill the Prom King. Wow, the production on that was amazing. Everything just sounds so sonically good. It really sounds
Very.
like you took a lot of inspiration from I think maybe Billie Eilish. That's where I came from to
That's what
hearing that. Yeah, go ahead, go
that's
ahead.
what I yeah, like I try to give when an idea of what I'm envisioning, but that's really hard for me. Like I was saying, like I'm not good on the production side. I don't really have the ear for it, but
Right.
Billie Eilish, a few of her songs, there were certain elements to them that I really liked and I could really see going well with the song. So he took a lot
Mm-hmm.
of inspiration from, Phineas type production,
Yeah.
what he does. Um, but that it's I the three songs that I have out right now are strangely, like, they don't represent the majority of my music very well,
No, because
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 what
what I've gathered is that you're more of like a singer songwriter like Taylor Swift, but you can chameleon into all of these different genres. Which I mean, it sounds great, by the way, but like it's pretty interesting how an artist can do that, and to be not even released a song like how you normally do is pretty cool too.
thank you. The majority of my music is about, I guess a lot of it is about relationship stuff or more just like personal experience. But and the first song, it's different because of the genre. It's more pop punk
Yeah.
like Blink
Yep.
182. And then
And
Lithium,
I love me some Blink 182. Don't even get me started on that.
um, Lithium is like, it's just made up. It's a made up
Yeah.
kind of situation. It's an
It's
inanimate
like
object.
fairy
And then,
tailing kind of.
yeah, Kill the Prom Queen is King. Sorry, is not my story, but one of my close friends' story, and she kind of let me turn her
That's
relationship
awesome.
situation into a song. And
Well, and the whew, the way I guess I guess it was so convincing that I thought like, it was a personal thing because like it conveys so much emotion through that whole song.
Well, it kind of is because she's a close friend of mine, and when
When shit happens to
long
her, shit
distance
happens to
boyfriend of
you.
hers is gonna hurt her feelings, I'm gonna kill the prom king. Let me tell you.
Hey, there you go. But yeah, no, like that. It's such an interesting song, in my opinion. I definitely think it deserves more love. So you took this story from your friend, right? And that's how. That's actually really interesting. I was listening to J. Cole's, I think, For Your Eyes Only, and that whole album is for his friend. Is for his friend that he said that whenever he passed to show his daughter this tape that he made and to convey the story that he wanted, which is like so interesting that great artists like I mean not to say that you're as great as J. Cole or as big as J. Cole, but like to be able to do that is very impressive. To be able to take someone
Thank
else's
you.
story and turn it into something that's very convincing and very intriguing. And I think that that's a pretty cool thing to do.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
super fun, but
yeah, I bet. So from there, you've done a couple gigs at Tech, right?
yes.
What
So,
what's that like in the college aspect to perform at like in a college scene?
um, I mean, it's like really fun. It's not horribly different from uh the gigs I had done in the past, at least in the types of gig that I've played so far at Virginia Tech
Right.
that were just solo. Um, because when I did it, it was during the pandemic. It was through the Virginia Tech Union, so it was pretty like tame. There wasn't anything crazy going on. I mean,
Right.
when I played with Speakeasy, it was a little bit of a different story. But when it's just me, uh, I don't know. It's nice that it's a group of people who are all like around my age.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think, oh, maybe they can kind of relate. If I'm singing original stuff, they can relate to what I'm talking about, or you know, maybe someone cute in the audience will hit me up afterwards, or
Oh
like,
my goodness. No, that's good though. I I haven't gotten to experience it because of the pandemic and because we released an album in the pandemic, which if you ask me now, it probably wasn't a great idea, but at the time it was just like the best, just go gung ho. But now we
mm-hmm.
can't really perform anything anywhere. So I was really curious as to what that's like. And you said Speakeasy was a different crowd, right? Because
Yeah.
that was pre-pandemic. So what was that like?
There were some interesting people.
Oh,
Yeah. We played. There were a couple. Um, there was like one restaurant that had kind of this. It was like a basement kind of thing,
right,
and they would sometimes hold nights with a bunch of different bands, and um, there'd be people who were probably on drugs who would like
yeah.
try to come up on stage in the middle of our
Oh,
performance,
oh,
and it's like very
oh,
uncomfortable, and they're like, yo,
yeah.
it's like my guy's birthday, can he do a verse? And I'm like, Terrell, help me.
Come get this
And
man's.
Lynn's just like playing, they're on the other
Yeah,
side of the
yeah.
stage. um we also played Pheasant Fest, which is in like a
Mhm.
neighborhood, and that was like kind of really casual. It was like in just like the living room of a townhouse. We're just like on the carpet, and yeah,
That's
also
pretty
some
awesome though.
interesting people there, but lots of fun people too. Great,
That's
cool
good.
people.
That's good.
Um,
That's great.
but yeah, um, it's a little bit more eccentric in my speakeasy experience than than my solo gigs.
So fast forwarding to now and what you're working on now, do you have anything coming up for for the audience to know?
I do. I actually have a lot of stuff coming up. So, um, eh, there's a loose plan, but
Right.
I actually have a recording date next week. I'm finally gonna meet my producers in person, who I've been collaborating with for the past few months. They're kind of in a collective with Win. So Win is still doing the mixing and mastering, but these two, Sam and Kazi, they're doing the production side.
Right.
And so they're gonna come up. They got an Airbnb, and they're just gonna really finalize some tracks. And I'm gonna try to do as much recording as possible. But
That's
basically,
super exciting.
I'm really excited to have someone else like hitting the record button for me. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
so I'm
then
not like
then yourself doing R delete, R delete, R
yes.
delete, R click delete. Yeah, it's a never ending process, believe me.
But there's one the first so the plan is two EPs
Hmm.
to come out in the next couple months. I It's 10 songs total.
Oh.
Um yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Um
exciting.
and the single for the first EP is done, and I have a tentative plan for it to come out the next week, maybe next Friday.
Next
I
Friday?
Yeah, if that's like the 23rd, maybe.
23rd.
I'm
We
working
have it
on the cover art for it because
right.
the photographers, aka my brother and or friend, graduated. Everyone's graduating, and
Yeah, I know it's the worst.
so I've had to do some stuff on my own, and it's been
Yeah. So
difficult.
you're banking in a tentative 23rd for your first single since Kill the Prom King?
Yes.
That's
And
exciting.
um the stuff that I'm releasing in these next couple of projects are a lot more what what my style is and what I would like it to be.
Yeah.
More representative of who I am as as a genre, I guess, or a
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, because
But
yeah, I mean, you're roping back in from your three different songs, three different genres, little mode. But
yeah,
I'm excited to hear what how you classify yourself. I'm very excited to hear what your voice sounds like on what you consider your favorite genre and what you consider yourself to be in. So I'm very excited for that. That should be very interesting.
I think yeah, it's mainly just it's gonna be um a better representation of like the stories I like to tell through my songwriting.
Awesome. Oh,
And
oh,
you know,
wait, wait.
pop as a general
There we go.
genre is
Okay, we're back. Sorry. Yeah, you had cut out for a
yeah, it
little
might have
bit.
been
You're back now.
quiet. Do you want me to repeat what I said?
Yeah. Please do.
Um, Wait, where did it cut out? Because I can't remember.
Pop. You were talking about pop,
Oh, pop as a general genre is where I put myself.
right?
You can move a little left or right in the lane, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm focusing. And I ta- my songwriting inspiration comes a lot from Taylor Swift, so very storytelling, very personal and honest, and
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
I'm very glad that you get to finally release something that you are very excited for, which is awesome. I mean, not to say you weren't excited for the other ones, but this one is very personal. It seems. And I think we're gonna actually hear a little bit of it right after we finish this show. I think we might hear something from it. We don't know yet. Y'all have to get to the end of it. So do you have any features coming up, anything like that? Any spotlights appear on or anything?
Um, no, I I don't know if I should say this here. I was because I've met some of the guys from Chimpanzees and Cigarettes, who I know you've had a couple
Right.
interviews with those guys. And I
Right.
was like, yo, what if we like collabed? So yeah, it's not set in stone at all, but I
Right.
think that would be fun. I love their sound. Um,
I think I feel bad putting you on the spot, but I think that we should collab, whether it be me or No Clue. I think our sounds together would be very, very sick. So
I would be open to that.
yeah, I would definitely want to send you a couple things. That can be at a later date though. Do you have anything to ask me? That's what I normally end with. You have anything to ask me?
Oh gosh.
No, it's okay to not
uh,
have any questions.
hmm. What is your what kind of songwriting do you like the most? Like what
Oh
style
man,
of songwriting?
man. Hmm. Well, do I do? Are you saying that I like to hear, or do I like to that I like to do? I
Either.
guess I'll start with that. So, what I like to hear in a song in a songwriter really is something that comes natural, not something that they lie about or that is something that they can't relate to. Which is why I like I like hmm, know how to put this. I liked Juice World. He was probably my favorite artist when he was out, and it's not even due sonically or anything like that. It's due to the fact that he spoke what was on his mind all the time. He never held anything back. So I think that songwriting in that way is what I like to hear the most. However, what I like to do the most is something funky. I love anything with a little bit of a bass line to it. Um, my songwriting process is very peculiar. I like to like take a line or take like something that I like about another song. I actually talked about this on my last podcast. Take something that we like from another song and then just kind of incorporate it. Um, or I'll just hear a beat and just start going and just like kind of off my mind, like get a melody and then put lyrics to it while I go. I'm actually writing this song. I don't have a title for it yet, but it's about my unborn daughter, which is going to be a pretty cool song that I'm going to put out. And to that songwriting process was more of like trying to get my mind state into being a dad. I don't know what the heck being a dad is about. I'm 21 with a girlfriend, like I don't know anything about that. I'm not even married yet. So to try and like get my headspace in that and to write something for future is really interesting songwriting thing that I'm doing now. But
That's a
yeah,
really cool concept.
yeah, I'm very excited for that. Yeah, so I think that is my favorite things about songwriting, I guess.
Yeah, I think artists being honest is always going to be good because there's something different in everyone, and if they put that into their songwriting, that's what is going to make their song unique. It's not because they're talking about what is popular at the time or what all the other
Exactly.
artists are saying, but everyone's going through something else and has a different worldview, a different way to say it, and it's going to
Right.
translate into more unique songs.
And that's not even, and it's not to say that like basic songs aren't relevant still. I mean, Drake has some basic songs from now, especially where he just raps about random shit. Like and it doesn't and it's a
I mean,
hit,
if it's a good
obviously.
beat, sometimes a basic
Yeah,
song is like
sometimes it just the
perfect.
basic songs work and and I can't even fault him for it because what he raps about and it might kind of sound weird, but what he raps about isn't lying. Like I think there's one line he's like, they asked me if I know Drake and Rihanna or if I know Rihanna and Nicki. He said, of course. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, he does. Like he can rap about that type of shit, but I can't relate to it. But like he can rap about that type of shit. Like I listen like I relate to it too. you know?
Yeah, I mean, even like I think artists who have a really clever way with words. It doesn't matter like necessarily what the subject matter is, but that is so cool to me. Um,
Yeah, I definitely think that I so the way I listen to music, which is actually I haven't met anyone that actually listens to music the same way I do. I whenever new music comes out, I put an album. I'll start from the beginning, and then do you have Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Is there a feature where you can just read along with it as it keeps going?
What do you mean read along? Like
So basically, well, on Apple Music here, I'll actually just show you. I have a song up. So this is Rap Star by Polo G. So there's
oh, so
like
like with
this
all the lyrics and stuff.
right. So
That's really dope.
as it keeps going, I read along with it, and so I can actually understand what the person is saying like at all times. Like I don't really care about the beat when I first listen. I don't really care about the flow. I just want to hear what the person's saying and see what the story is within their music. So I can catch all like the double entendres or like the little play with words. And I definitely I start there and then I start branching out into just jamming in the car, like headbanging myself and singing along with the lyrics and stuff like that. But yeah, to I think that's like my biggest thing is lyrics for sure to mean
Yeah,
something, I guess. Yeah.
I agree.
So is that all the questions that you have for me?
I think so, unless you're
All right.
looking for something
No,
specific.
I am not. I am not. I actually am going to end the show now. I wanted to thank you. It was me, it was Olivia, and it was Behind the Artist, episode 11, I believe. So very exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Olivia, for being on.
Thank you
Everyone
so
give
much
her a
for
round
having
of
me.
applause. Round of applause. All right. See you all later. Peace.
Pressure in my head, on my shoulders, feels like I'm too young to get older. Am I wasting away? It's just one